Hello everybody, it's Daniel from Vinyl Hazard here again. A little bit of a different perspective this time. I have a huge CD update, so instead of sitting at the floor, I might as well sit in my comfy sofa and show you the CDs upright. Now, I'm not going to, stay a long time with each CD, and the reason is these CDs are more like, staple CDs, the kind of CDs that any collection really have to have. If you've followed my channel, you know I'm a primarily vinyl guy, but I have, as of late, tried to flesh out my CD collection, and I am planning to continue to do that, so it's going to be like vinyl CD hazard from now on, I guess. But first I want to do a little bit of a shout out to a fairly new member of the VC community. His name is Jacob. He lives in Denmark. You can find him on the channel down below. Now, Jacob is a guy who is primarily into heavy metal and female-fronted heavy metal. He's also into thrash metal, but primarily in female-fronted bands. So I guess he and Nathan from New Zealand are like best friends now. They are like the the main guys for female-fronted metal bands. So check his channel out. Really friendly fellow. Has much of a production that we ourselves had when we first started out. We have a camera, bench, and just show CDs and albums and vinyls and stuff. The good life. So check Jacob's channel out. I'll leave a link down below for you. All right. So time to do the CDs. What to begin with? Shall we go with... I think we will take this pile first. So, as I said, all of these CDs are, well-known CDs. I'm not going to stay particularly long at each CDs because they are more or less well-known by now. Perhaps one or two I will stay a little bit. It's not going to be an in-depth thing, if you know what I mean. So... let's begin with some Sepultura. Now, this album should be no surprise, Arise, Sepultura's fourth album. Awesome album. Sepultura doesn't need any introduction. Not this album either. Perhaps one of the more well-known album artworks in the metal community. So Arise, that is one. A couple of more Sepultura from the same seller, I believe, and all of these. This one I got for like $2 American. Most of these CDs I bought for like $1 to $3. Perhaps one or two was like $4 or $5, and even one was like 2 kronor, which is like I think 20 cents. Here we have the next Sepultura. Haven't really listened to this one. I know like the first 4 Sepultura albums, and then I was like, didn't really listen much to Sepultura. Against from 1998. So it's a fairly early album, like early to mid-era Sepultura. This is on Roadrunner Records, All right. And the next one, Roarback, perhaps not the most favorite Sepultura album I have heard rumors about, but this was like $1, so might as well pick it up and listen to it, I haven't listened to this yet, so gonna be interesting. Either it's gonna be a huge disappointment, or I have no real expectations, or well, some expectations. It's Sepultura, all right, but gonna be interesting to see how this one sounds. Yeah, there we go. Naturally. Oh, this one is broken inside. All right, have to replace that one. Yeah, so roar back. Right, going to Maiden. You know that one I mentioned that went for like 2 kroner or like 20 cents. Is it even that? I don't think that. Yeah. So, No Prayer for the Dying. Doesn't really need an introduction either. Yeah, Tail Gunner, Holy Smoke, No Prayer for the Dying. Run Silent, Run Deep, Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter. Yeah, classic. Another one for like $2. Killers, doesn't need an introduction either. Many people's favorite Maiden album. Not my favorite Maiden album, but it surely is up there in like, the top 5, top 6. So yeah, Killers. Yeah, this is a digital remastered 1998 copy. Special enhanced CD for your PC or Macintosh, featuring full-length videos, band tour history, biographies, and exclusive photo galleries. All right. Next, Maiden. Yeah, The Final Frontier. Actually, I really like this album. So there's like a mix of good and bad songs on this. I mean, the first two, Satellite 15 and El Dorado, don't really do it for me. Not Mother Mercy either. Coming Home is a great sing-along track. But the last four tracks on this, Starblind, The Talisman, The Man Who Would Be King, and the awesome epic When the Wild Wind Blows, which is by far the best track on this album, I think. Well, Coming Home is also good, but When the Wild Wind Blows, one of my favorite Maiden tracks. Yeah, so The Final Frontier. Also got this for $2-3. And one of the most well-known albums in the world. Yeah, don't need an introduction really. Fear of the Dark. Need to have the black sleeve or whatever you call it for this one. Yeah, got that for about $2. And here's one of the top 5 Maiden albums in my book, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. Supposedly sort of a concept album. Never thought of it as a concept album, but apparently Bruce Dickinson said it was. Yeah, all the great tracks on this, like Moonchild, The Evil That Men Do, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, The Prophecy, The Clairvoyant. Yeah, so Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. Ooh, that's bright. This is a doesn't say if it's a it's obviously probably a repressing. And the last Maiden is just a live album, a real dead one. I don't have a real live one. Yeah, so got this for like 50 cents, I think, something like that. Good to have, on parties and everything. It has all the great tracks: Number of the Beast, The Trooper, Prowler, Transylvania, Remember Tomorrow, well, Eagles Dare. I haven't listened to that one recently. Sanctuary, Running Free, Run to the Hills, 2 Minutes to Midnight, Iron Maiden, Hallowed Be Thy Name. Yeah. So, staple CDs. That was the first of 3 piles. Now comes the next one. All right, so let's begin with a little bit of Metallica. We have Kill 'Em All. First album, naturally. Awesome. One of the greatest thrash metal albums of all time. Yeah, so doesn't really need any introduction either. But I sort of introduced everyone anyway. Yeah, so I have this on vinyl, of course, but not on CD, so good to have in the car. Next, Metallica, Ride the Lightning. Got this also for about $2, $3 perhaps. Yeah, Fight Fire with Fire. Ride the Lightning, From Who the Bell Tolls, Fade to Black, yeah, all the great tracks. Perhaps my favorite Metallica album, well, it's this and Justice for All, really. Speaking of that, Justice for All. Oh, how young they looked. Lars Ulrich with long hair. Yeah. Have, of course, the Epic One on this. And Justice for All there. So, next, going over to a little bit of Motorhead, we have Bomber. I do not own this on vinyl, actually, so yeah, good to have. And I'm calling myself a Motorhead fan. Yeah, I have a bunch of Motorhead CDs here. Awesome to have, you know, in the car or play at the random party. On Parole, I think this was Motorhead's 4th album. And it was actually, I think this was the one that were supposedly to be the first album, but they didn't for some reason. Yeah. This is a 1997 copy from EMI Records. Am I talking shit out on my hat now? I think this is the 4th album, right? Yeah. You're going to correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, On Parole. Very white album. And one of the best Motorhead albums, Iron Fist, with an epic fist as the cover art. And of course the mighty Snaggletooth. Yeah, this was 1996. Original bronze recordings. Exclusively under Castle Music. Right. And we are Motorhead. This is actually one of the best tracks, I believe, that Motorhead have done, and that is One More Fucking Time, which is track number 7 on this. I don't know why I love that song. You know, it's one of the calmer Motorhead songs. You know, trying to find a slow-paced Motorhead song is like, you know, have a chance to see the very rare snow leopard in the wild. They are few and far between. But that's one of the awesome tracks on this one. Love this artwork also, by the way. So, we are Motorhead. And, of course, one of the, well, most people's top 3, I think, or at least top 5, and that is, of course, Orgasmatron. This has my favorite artwork cover. This is just epic, the train, and Snaggletooth at the front. Right. There we have that one. Fleshing out the Metallica and Motorhead collection with my CDs. God, there's so many. Right. Going over to a little bit of Megadeth. Rust in Peace. Now, I actually had this one, but I gave it away to a student who was always showing, like, you know, a Megadeth t-shirt. And that one actually didn't have the original back sleeve, you know. This one, I was forced to print that. So, but it works fine, so I gave it away. And I bought this one, and still not really quite happy. Because look at that. It's almost white compared to. So this has been in a shelf somewhere with the sun hitting it for 8 hours a day for the last 20 years, and it just is sun bleached as hell. But I don't think I'm going to buy this a third time. It works absolutely perfect. So, you know. Right. Next one is United Abomination. Got this for $3. Steal, really. One of the newer albums. I thought this was going to be more bad than I thought it was going to be, but I actually quite enjoyed it. Need to spin a whole lot more though. Been sitting in the car for a week, so I've listened to it for 2-3 times. But I think it's a solid album. From 2007. Don't know which Megadeth album it is in the line, but it's probably like, you know, number 11 or 12 or something like that. The one that came after though is this one, Endgame. This one I really like. From 2009. There we have Dave Mustaine on the back. Also got this for about $3 or $4. Yeah, so Endgame. And then we have Cryptic Writings. Haven't been listening to this one, actually. Got it from the same seller for about, I think it was $4. Yeah, it's a real like thick booklet in it. Yeah, so Cryptic Writings. And of course the one more known. So far, so good, so what? This, you know, it's supposed to be like, you know, a film screen or something. This artwork's always, you know, I thought this was kind of a lousy artwork actually. But the album is good. Yeah, Set the World on Fire. It's not that song though. Mary Jane, In My Dark Sour, Liar, Hook in the Mouth. Yeah. So far, so good, so what? Right. Good. Last batch. We're already at 16 minutes. I knew this was going to take like 20 minutes. It's 30 CDs after all. Yeah, so these are from random bands. Random, they are not random by any means, but yeah, it's not, you know, collection of sorts. Let's begin with Saxon. Denim and Leather. So, yeah, awesome album, especially, you know, the last song, that, you know, Staples sing-along Saxon song. Title track is just awesome. Princess of the Night, also, of course, Midnight Rider. Yeah, love this album, have it on vinyl. Actually, have almost every Saxon album on vinyl, except for like, you know, 2, I think. So, yeah, Denim and Leather. We have the mighty Danzig. So, you know, I did not grow up listening to Danzig like many of my YouTube colleagues did, and the rest of the world. But, you know, this has his hits like Your Mother. Everybody knows that one. Yeah, this is his first album also. It's from 1988, I think. Yeah, good album. Danzig, you know, left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth after I heard him live for the first time. It was just an awful, awful concert. Actually the worst concert I ever been to. It was embarrassing to say the least. But he has made good music, believe that. So yeah, first Danzig album. A little bit of Manowar. So, Fight the World. Let's see if we can get this on. Yeah. Manowar. Quintessential heavy metal. I mean, this screams heavy metal, if anything, right? We have Judas Priest, Nostradamus. This is, I think, yeah, it's 2 CDs. There's like, you know, a CD back here too. Haven't listened to this album, actually, believe it or not. You know, if you are new to my channel, Judas Priest, you know, are as big as perhaps Maiden, Metallica, you know, the great bands. But I actually did not listen to them until a very late stage in my life, you know. 5 years ago, I didn't even own a Judas Priest album. I think the first one I actually bought was like, you know, perhaps 2 years ago, 2.5. So I'm very, very new to. I'm not new to Judas Priest, but you know, I'm new to actually buying their stuff. So yeah, Nostradamus. And we have a little bit of Dark Tranquillity. This is fiction. Dark Tranquillity have made basically no bad album. So yeah, sort of a, like, you know, progressive death metal band today. Their latest album, Moment, was, you know, epic. If you haven't listened to Dark Tranquillity, listen to their latest album, Moments. It's fucking great. So, yeah. DT. Pantera, The Great Southern Trendkill. Also, an awesome album, perhaps not Pantera's greatest album, perhaps a little bit on the lower end of, you know, the post-Cowboys from Hell era of Pantera, but still an awesome album. Yeah, listened to this a lot in my childhood. And the last one, God. Yeah, Hammerfall. From 2009, No Sacrifice, No Victory. I think this is their, let's see, it is their 6th or 7th album. I think it is the 7th one. Yeah, this one was a little bit more expensive. I bought this for about $8 because I really, really wanted it. For the collection, my Hammerfall collection on CDs, and there simply wasn't anything near. I mean, no stores or anything. So I bought this from a Swedish guy on Discogs, and yeah, now I finally have No Sacrifice, No Victory, and it's the mighty Hector on the front cover there with his hammer. He has wings on this one too. He has wings on the last one too, also. So, thank you for have stuck with me this entire time. Next update is going to be a vinyl update. I have a bunch of vinyl records. Perhaps like 10 or 12. And there's also going to be a whole lot more CDs because I'm going to, I've started a bidding frenzy on one of my bidding sites. And, getting these kind of CDs for like $1, $2, $3, perhaps the maximum is like $5 if I not really, really wanted it. It's just a steal, it's awesome to have, especially, driving in the car or partying or, going somewhere, just take a CD along. With that said, may the metal gods be with you, my friends, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers!